Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for this is for this time next year. Each row is going to be representing something different. This is based off of comments I got on a post I did a couple weeks ago about what you want to hear in readings. So the first row here is going to represent messages you need to hear before this time next year. You have this Akashic Record card and this Sacred Journey card. Those two cards kind of represent the same thing. In a way, or at least that's how it's popping into my head. Like some of you could be feeling more like you are on your spiritual path. And, I think you should just keep going with whatever it is that you're doing here, Scorpio, because that will probably be the best thing for you. I also feel, the Eight of Wands can kind of represent feeling more connected, because the Eight of Wands, all those wands are pointing in one direction. And so it kind of says that you feel more focused. Maybe you feel like things are moving a little bit more in like a smoother direction. And I'm not saying things are perfect, of course, but, things definitely could be feeling a lot smoother with that Eight of Wands energy. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. I kind of feel like something from the past is dead. And the Tower has come up for basically everyone. We are entering into a crazy time. So, there are going to be a lot of Tower moments, I think, this year alone. Not even, and a lot of stuff going on. So, it is what it is. We'll talk about it. But you have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles can represent holding on too tightly to the past. He even has the City behind him here. But what he is holding on to is very small, and what he could be opening up to could be very big. So, he needs to kind of let go of his limitations, or he needs to let go of the things that are holding him back the most. And, these could be things that you're holding on to that, are just kind of like a safety net, right? I would be careful of any safety nets. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a safety net either. But what it means is, like, sometimes I think we hold on to a job for too long and we know that it isn't right. So it doesn't say quit the job right now before you have another one. It says go look for another one. When you get another job lined up, then you quit the job, right? But sometimes we stay stuck and we don't look for another one. So, I kind of feel this is saying put yourself out there and try to, look for something better, because it exists, right? Plain and simple. You have the Eight of Wands, probably your most important card here, I would say. Eight of Wands, number one. I do feel pretty good about this. I mean, I feel like you feel very, like, locked in to me by this time next year. Maybe not right now. Like, I don't feel like you feel like this right now. But it's definitely something that by this time next year, I feel you will be feeling more kind of like locked in. It's like you're more focused feeling to me. You're more sure of yourself as well. These are all very good feelings that I get off of the Eight of Wands. So, I feel pretty focused and good about this Eight of Wands. One thing I would say is that this year, what I think you should be doing with this Eight of Wands is creating a slip and slide in life. I always say Eight of Wands is my card of creating a slip and slide in life. It says, in life, there are things that slow us down. How can you eliminate those things, or how can you make them smoother? It's not about being perfect. Sometimes we have responsibilities, things we have to do that we can't change. But it basically says, for the most part, are there things that cause friction where you could look at them from a different perspective? You end with the Hangman, which would be about seeing things from a different perspective. Or are there different ways you could do things to just make them a little bit better? And if you do that by this time next year, I think you'll really be locked in. I think you'll be very focused and kind of like charging forward as well. Next, you have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare. And so I do feel like there is something that has to come to an end with the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is also a comfort zone card. This right here is a comfort blanket. So, on the Nine of Swords, the comfort blanket is both good and bad. It's bad because he's not in enough pain to change his situation, right? He still has a little bit of comfort there, like we talked about with the Four of Pentacles. It's good because it has all these blue squares have astrological symbols inside of them. And so the blue squares kind of should give him comfort to get out of the bed. Those blue squares basically tell him, like, hey, look at all these things that you've been through. You've overcome so much. You are much stronger than you realize, and now it's time to get out of bed and start moving forward. So I always say that, Nine of Swords is kind of both good and bad at the same time because of what it represents. I think it's only really bad if you don't change your circumstances with the Nine of Swords. If you don't get out of the bed if you don't start moving towards something bigger and better, then it will be bad. But again, if you choose to get out of bed, then things will be much, much better with that energy. And that's exactly what I would do there, Scorpio. Let's clarify this and see where this is going. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Three of Cups. It's like you want to celebrate, you want to have fun, and you want to do things that are more fun in your life. These three ladies are celebrating a harvest, and this is a card of your community as well. So there could be people that really want to help you improve your situation in life, and I would find those people. Maybe you don't have these people in your life yet, but the Three of Cups is like looking for people who will support you. I always say that this is my card of like concentrated connections. These are the concentrated connections that really matter, the people who really support you. And those are the people I would be surrounding yourself with. And again, if you don't have those people, I would find them. The other thing is that we can surround ourselves with people like this without actually doing it. We can, there are people I watch on YouTube that motivate me. Like, I consider them part of my team, even though they're not really on my team. You get what I'm saying? So it's like these people don't even they could be dead, right? There are dead people that I love, like Zig Ziglar, right? He gets me motivated. He's dead, right? And so, I think in a lot of ways, this is saying find your team. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. Very dreamy energy that I'm getting off this Page of Cups. Like, you have big dreams. I think you are in a dreamy space right this second. Right now, it's like you are dreaming of things being better and thinking of things that could be better. And so between now and this time next year, I would focus on creating that. I'd focus on, creating a better life with the Eight of Wands. Like I said, creating a slip and slide in your life. Your last row is going to represent love, and there definitely could be love coming in for you as well if you want it. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Three of Swords, which you have twice here in this reading. So, this could be a heartbreaking situation that you are kind of like healing from, or that you need to heal from. The Three of Swords is a card of forgiveness. These swords, they exist in your heart, and the trick with the Three of Swords to overcome it is to remove the swords from our heart so that we can heal. So we can practice forgiveness and releasing past situations. And if we do that, then things will get better. If we don't, then obviously they won't. So I would definitely practice some healing here. Next, we are going to look at big money shifts in career and finance that could be happening for you. You have this mending card and this To the Sea card. Pretty good, really. The mending card says that you are doing things maybe to heal your finances or fix your financial situation. And again, even if you're retired, this row is also for you. So, you could be doing things to improve your finances or to fix your financial situation. The To the Sea card is definitely about a job change. I've been feeling this for a very long time for you, Scorpio, for like the past couple of years, that a lot of you are wanting a job change, or you're wanting to improve your circumstances. It's kind of weird because I do feel that a lot of you Scorpio people it's like you have been doing things to improve your career situation. But it's like with that Two of Wands as your first card, I feel like there are certain like milestones that need to be met. And I feel like you keep getting very, very close. Like, let's say you would need $2,000 to quit your job. It's like, I feel like you keep making like 1,900. It's like you're right on the edge of really kind of breaking through with something financially. And we'll look at this and we'll see what you need to do to have that breakthrough. You have the Two of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. Two of Wands is about taking the lead. Now, he's standing at the top of his castle, and the story of the Two of Wands is that he rushed to a finish line, he built something too quickly, and he didn't enjoy the journey. And so he needs to realize that he can easily get out into the world right here, and he can make the changes that he wants to make. But the thing is that he thinks he knows how everything works. So don't assume that you know how something is going to go, number one. Number two, Two of Wands is actually pretty good. It can represent progress, although the Two of Wands also represents needing to leave a comfort zone, which is probably the main theme of this reading, is to get out of any comfort zones that you are in. This could also represent you entering into a different world, and I definitely feel that. Like, some of you could be getting a career or starting a business or, doing work in a different world, and I feel that that would be very good for you. Like, let's say you're getting a career that is completely different than what you're doing right now. If you have those opportunities, I would definitely take them. Some of you I'm also getting could be moving for finances, and I also think that would be a good idea. So for all of you, even if you're retired, you could be moving somewhere that's like cheaper but better and, all that other stuff. So definitely would be a good move for you. You have the King of Wands. Yeah, definitely a very good, like, King of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, and, like, really going for what you want. I don't remember, I already forgot what I said at the beginning of your reading, but I was saying something kind of similar to that about you kind of really locking in. That's what I was saying, right? With that Eight of Wands. That was giving me this very, like, locked in type of energy where it's like you're really really committing to something. And so in work or business, this could say that you are really, kind of like locking in and making something happen. The King of Wands is also very entrepreneurial. So for those entrepreneurs out there, this is very good for like business and making more money in business. He's very creative. And, the King of Wands, something people forget about him is that he has foresight. He can almost see the future, kind of. And so if you have any futuristic ideas or any ideas that involve like, I'm getting like technology or, anything like that, I think that whatever those ideas are could be very, very good for you here, Scorpio. And I would definitely be embracing those more innovative energies in your life. We have Pluto and Aquarius. Innovation is going to benefit everyone. So anything, innovative, futuristic, and anything like that could be very good for you. The other thing that I would argue is that you've had Uranus and Taurus, and you're a fixed sign. So that Uranus and Taurus energy, even though Uranus is leaving Taurus, depending on when you're watching this video, it might already be out of Taurus. That energy could be making you, again, kind of come up with more futuristic, kind of technology-based ideas, and I would be thinking about it. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is about multiplication. The Queen of Pentacles, number one, is about using your resources to be more successful. So she is resourceful, and she uses her resources for success. But we also have this rabbit here. The rabbit can represent fertility and abundance, can also represent fears and anxiety, but she's not worried. She's focusing on what she has, not on what she doesn't have. But the rabbit can also represent multiplication, and it's definitely something I would pay attention to if I were you, is things that multiply, or I would be paying attention to multiplying your successes. This is something I talk about a lot because I don't think people realize they can do it. If you do something that created a success for you, repeat it, whatever it is, and multiply those successes. With the Eight of Wands, I would also be doing more of what makes you successful because that's probably how you're going to be more successful. With the Two of Wands, you have the Two of Swords. I would keep an open mind here. That's really all I'm getting off of this Two of Swords. Sometimes I think that people can say things to us and we just jump to a conclusion and we say that wouldn't work when actually it would. So I feel like the Two of Swords is saying you don't have to like commit to any ideas in work or finances or anything like that, but it might be worth it to explore some ideas that you don't think would work or you don't think are going to be successful when they totally could be. So I think this is just saying, explore other worlds with that Two of Wands showing up in your reading, or, explore other ways of doing things, and I kind of feel that's what you need to do with the Two of Swords. With the King of Wands, you have the Ten of Cups. Yeah, like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family, good things happening after a difficult period of time. So I feel pretty good about this, but it's all probably coming from you. Yeah, sure, the King of Wands could be love entering into your life. And, a positive relationship absolutely can, I think, improve our finances. But, I kind of feel that King of Wands is like you, and you being bold and assertive and going for things. The Ten of Cups would also be about doing things that make you feel more joyful or that bring more joy into your life. And so I would be doing more joyful stuff. And this, but you have the sun right next to it. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Three of Wands. I'm laughing because it's another card that represents leaving a comfort zone. he is standing at the top of this hill. He's looking at these boats on the ocean, and those boats represent an opportunity for him to go on an adventure, an opportunity for him to get out into the world and, do new things. So I think it would be an amazing time for you to like go on a new adventure, do new things, try new things, all that with the Two of Wands. It would be a great time to expand out into the world and, have a great time. But this is really about doing things in a different way. So, the whole entire reading basically says that you have to look for other ways of doing things and get out of comfort zones. Next, we're going to look at what you need to hear at this time next year, and also we're going to. This row is also going to represent some of the challenges that you could be facing. So you have this feeling the World card and the Close Encounters card. This is a problem for a lot of people right now. We are in a time of chaos, as I was saying, between now and 2033. There are going to be a lot of things to scream and yell about. Do not be one of those people that's screaming and yelling. It's not going to do anything for you. And, I believe from a spiritual perspective, the people alive right now, we are here to change it. We are here to make the world a better place, to, be cliche about it. But if all we're doing is worrying about every little thing that's going on, then we're going to have a really hard time. And it doesn't mean you can't care about what's going on, but it says if there's nothing you can do about it, then you need to bring more happiness into the world. That's like maybe the only thing you can do. This Close Encounters card, I feel, is saying that it's like you're tapped in very spiritually, especially with the Akashic Records card and the Sacred Journey card. So you're clearly on like some sort of spiritual journey between, I would say like between, I think it's starting now is what I'm trying to spit out. I don't think this is something that is just going to start in May of next year. I think this is something that you're going to be working on for a long time. You have the Three of Swords, the Sun, and the Five of Cups. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think that there's something that you have to let go of that didn't work, that really maybe either hurt you or is kind of like hard to let go of just in general. It could be a relationship that you wanted to work out or something. I kind of feel it's more of like an idea. But it could be an idea of a relationship or an idea of a person or an idea of something that you wanted to work. And the Three of Swords, I feel, is saying it's time to heal. And I would say, again, even though this reading is for this time next year, I feel that you can get ahead of the energy and start healing right now. The Three of Swords, like I said, we have to remove those swords from our own heart. And we can do this through healing. We can do this through forgiveness. We can do this through all sorts of things, releasing, ceremonies or whatever you need to do, whatever works for you. And I would be doing those things now. I wouldn't wait till this time next year to kind of to heal whatever it is. Like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It kind of feels to me like, it's like I never understood this when I was younger, Scorpio. But it's like, sometimes I think we can have a connection that is so right, but so wrong. And I didn't understand this till I was older. And it's like you want the right things when you are in a connection like that so bad. It's like the person can have a lot wrong, right? But it's like there's so much that's also right at the same time. And, this kind of reminds me of like stepping stone soulmate energy. So if you are healing from a heartbreak, for example, it's like realizing that person was meant to teach you something to get you to the next level, could be helping you heal with that Three of Swords. You have the Sun, which is great. The Sun makes the whole entire reading more positive. The Sun is about practicing joy and happiness. With the Eight of Wands, the Sun is also about creating more ease in your life. This baby or child is carrying this big banner that we see right here. And it's meant to look like something that's very heavy, but he is carrying it very easily. And the whole point of it is to create more ease in your life, to make things easier on yourself. The other thing is that I believe all of us, we all probably have skills that are difficult for most people, but we can do well. So we all have certain areas of our life where we can move more weight, right? Where we have a bigger impact. And the Sun, that's what I feel like it's saying to you, Scorpio, is there are certain things you do that have a bigger impact than most people. And if you don't know what those are, I would start experimenting. Or if you don't know what those skills are, I would start learning and figuring things out. Because I feel like the Sun is saying you need to do more of the things that make you stand out. You have the Five of Cups. I feel like you don't even realize what's coming in for you, is kind of what I feel. He's grieving the loss of something, but there's something so much better behind him. You know, when he sees these two cups, he gets this bridge in the castle. Like I said, I kind of feel like maybe some of you have had a hard time letting go of a past person because maybe they had a lot of what you want, and you're like, I'm never going to find that again. But I think you're finding something better with the Five of Cups. And so I feel like the Five of Cups is saying once you let go of the past, you are going to be getting something so much better. With the Three of Swords, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Love it. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. So exactly what I just said. The quicker you heal, the more likely it is that you're going to get the Ten of Pentacles. So love it. Definitely very positive. Ten of Pentacles is also about creating your Ten of Pentacles. You know, I always say, this is a card of building and leaving a legacy. It's not something that just magically happens. We have to put the energy in to create it. With the Sun, you have the Nine of Swords. Yes, like I said, I feel that there's some sort of fear of not getting something that you want in this reading. And the Nine of Swords says, well, you can change that. You don't have to stay stuck. And so set yourself free with that Nine of Swords energy. With the Five of Cups, you have the Death card, which is you showing up in a very strong position. Whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. The Death card is also about letting something go. So, you know, I would say that this time next year, you're probably releasing something, but I would say it's for the better, you know, clearly. Next, in the area of love and relationships, this is all relationships. So even if you don't want love, it could just be all relationships. You have this protection card and this mystery card. So I feel like you are protected in love, just in general. Love is a mystery, for sure. And you could be, I don't know, I feel like you are thinking a lot about that mystery. It's kind of funny because this card says dark side of the moon. You know, you could be attracting like an alien as well. Like I feel like you could be attracting a person who's like unusual in some way. You could be attracting a person who also is very different. I feel like you could be attracting a person who has kind of like certain aspects that you don't see at first. You know, it's like they don't. This might be the type of person who like doesn't brag. You know, who doesn't put things out up front. They allow people to, you know, discover things about them. They just don't, like, this is not a bad thing. I don't think this is a person that's hiding things from you if you're looking for love. I think it's a person who just, it's like they are a doer, you know, they just do, and that's it. There's nothing to talk about, right? And so you could very much be attracting a person like that. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Hangman. I think the Six of Pentacles is how we should all be operating in all connections for the next like 20 freaking years, basically. We should, you know, I think trust but verify. Maybe that just popped into my head, right? We should trust people as they enter into our lives, but we also should be very much paying attention to the result. This goes for all relationships in your life. If a person says they can do something, you should trust it. But if they don't do it, then you just verified that they are not who they say they are, right? If they do the things that they say, then they are, right? And so Six of Pentacles just says, trust but verify. You don't have to be a porcupine. I think I said this in one of your recent readings, Scorpio. It's like you can be open, you can be emotionally vulnerable with a person, but also verify that they are who they say they are. And, you know, that's basically what I'm getting off of that card. You have the Tower. I feel like there are just a lot of things and surprises happening in connections for you, Scorpio. I mean, I even think that like people could be revealing things to you. Some of these things positive, some of them negative, some of them just unusual with that mystery card maybe. So I kind of get like a mixed bag off of this Tower energy. The Tower is your card. Like I said, everybody has had the Tower. We are going to have plenty of Tower moments over the next 10 years. So, you know, like I said, everybody's had the Tower so far. Whenever this happens, usually something happens in the world. And, you know, like last time I said that, you know, some world leader could be stepping down or dying, and the Pope died the last time this happened. So, I don't know, you know, we're going to see a lot of Tower moments. So it just is what it is. You have the Hangman. Hey, I feel like you're changing your perspective on connections. The Hangman has put himself on pause. He's hanging in Hangman mode, and he's hanging upside down so he can see things from a different perspective. So it's like you could be gaining new perspectives on all connections in your life, or like what connections mean to you. And you could also be being enlightened as to like what is important in connections or what you need to like actually pay attention to in connections. So I get just like a lot of answers on that Hangman energy. But let's see. With the Six of Pentacles, yes, do not rush. Knight of Swords is being too hasty, rushing into connections, right? Six of Pentacles is taking things slow. Six of Pentacles is what I call the tennis match of love. You hit the ball to their side, they hit the ball to your side. You make sure that there's equal give and take. If the past 10 years of my life have taught, it only took me 37 years really to figure this out, that, I am convinced after 37 years of life that really all relationships, not just love, we know what is right and what's wrong. We know when things seem off and we just don't trust it. And so I feel this is saying, don't just like fall in love with a person right away. Same thing in all other relationships. Don't just take people at their word. You can trust. You can say, okay, this person said they'll do this, right? But verify and give that person time to prove it, right? With the Tower, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is spinning plates, being too busy. It's kind of like saying to me, you need to make time for people, like especially people, I'm talking about the people who actually matter to you in your life. Two of Pentacles is being too busy, but, it's also a card that says work hard, play hard. So I would make sure you're making time for important people. With the Hangman, you have the Page of Wands. Yeah, Page of Wands is about going on adventures. You could be meeting a person on an adventure. You could be meeting a person who really spices up your life as well here, I'm getting, Scorpio. Now, this doesn't even have to be love, right? This could just be, a friend. It could be like a new friend, a new person. And I would be forming positive connections for sure with that card. You have this Fair Man card. It says dealings or relationship with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. You have this Tulip. It says great passion. So yes, there could be a fair person. Doesn't have to be a man. I'm reading from a million of you. So it could be any type of person that's coming in for you, and there could be a lot of passion. That's the thing. I think you will feel very passionate about a person, like the right person. And I also think that it's like, I think this person doesn't talk. It's not that they don't talk. They will talk to you. It's like I said, trust but verify. But, you won't have to do that with this person if you're attracting love. Because it's like, I think they don't talk about, they're not like saying, oh, I do this, I do that. They just do it. There is nothing to talk about. That's what I'm getting off of this energy. Plain and simple. You have this chain card. It says chain of events that will affect your life. I feel like I've said this to you before, Scorpio, that you could be doing a lot of like connecting the dots energy where it's like you're looking back on your life. You have that Akashic record card. It's like you're looking at things you've done and you're saying all of these things that I've learned add up to this big picture. Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is your big picture, big dream life. And, I would spend time connecting dots, like looking at the lessons you learned, looking at the things you've been through, like what can you get out of it, those things, and I would be doing something with it. You have this table. It says hard work ahead. Yeah, definitely hard work next year. Two of Pentacles is hard work. So you could be doing a lot of work or putting a lot of energy into things that matter to you or things that you want to work on. And, I think that part of me feels that's good. I kind of get this energy from this reading of needing to make sure that you're not like escaping or getting into like escapist energies here, Scorpio. I don't know how to say what I want to say. It's like, I feel like it's saying don't create escapes for yourself. And that doesn't mean sometimes we need to escape. That's fine. But if you're just like burying your head in the sand with work, I think you're going to have a problem. So, don't. You have this mountain card. It says major challenge to overcome. I actually like this card because it's like no one climbs mountains. I always say, where do you get the best views? At the top of the mountain. I encourage people at this time to do what is hard. And like there are plenty of people that don't want to hear it, but it's like, okay, go listen to someone who's going to tell you you're going to win the lottery. That's not going to happen, right? It's like right now, yes. Sorry, I hate, this is not Sesame Street here at Minnow, right? This is Steve's messages. Steve is my alter ego, my evil alter ego. And Steve says that we have to do hard things because it's worth it. And because there's very little competition at the top of the mountain. So I will always encourage people to do the hard thing. Even though it won't lead to overnight success, I know that based off the astrology right now, and for the next 20 years, that people who choose to do the hard thing that causes them to grow the most are going to have the most security, plain and simple. So There you go. And here you go. You have this tower card. It says solid foundation, success with effort. Yeah, the tower in the tarot always gets reduced down to its foundation, and then it's our job to rebuild it stronger. So, some of you you've been getting the tower with me for like 2 years now. Every single reading, Scorpio. It's like, yeah, you probably have had tower moments, but now it's time to rebuild that tower. Now it's time to make things better or improve your situation by building a really solid foundation. And maybe you need to connect the dots. It's like whatever has fallen apart in your life, maybe you need to look at it and say like, okay, I learned from this, 8 of Wands. How can I make it more efficient? How can I build it stronger and better? And that's what I'd be doing. 5 of Cups. That 5 of Cups is telling me that there is something better that you could be building. Now it's the 5 of Cups. So it's not going to be easy. You have to let something go, and maybe there's some challenges, but I really want to motivate you to kind of like rebuild something that you want in your life. Pretty interesting, Scorpio. I like it, though. Yeah, like I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it will be worth it. So there you go. But thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy this time next year.